Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to me, Dave Pumphouse, with the Colchester Kriegsspiel. This, I believe, will be the last video, as I've kind of threatened over the last couple of videos. I've had to call an end to the game due to personal circumstances. The end of lockdown has approached, and I am back to work and commuting halfway across the country and losing 4 hours of my day every day until the end of time. So I have no more time to do this game, unfortunately, but it's come at the opportune moment. So what we're going to have to do is for narrative purposes, just concentrate on one thing. And one thing only, with regards to dice rolls. What's happened over here on Old Heath Road with Fairfax and the lot? It stands to reason that as soon as this infantry started pressing in, they would have pushed the Royalist cavalry away, and then they would be forced to retreat. They would be pushed off the board down here. Maybe a couple of cavalry might chase them off, lose them in the, and try and chase down as many as they could, but a good couple of hundred will disperse, scatter away into the Essex countryside. Gascoigne, wherever he is, Gascoigne over here will probably take a lot of them and surrender at Cambridge like he did historically after somewhere over the 3 months in the siege. Gascoigne managed to get out, take his cavalry over to Cambridge and surrender. So that's what we'll say happened to these men. Easy enough. Fairfax, Barkstead and Delborough have been sent a message saying, good game guys, however you are now in a point of battle that you'd really have no you're at a point on the board where you just have no effect on anything. So good game guys. For narrative purposes, we'll say that Parliament digs in on Old Heath Road, starts digging trenches, setting up camp. Fairfax himself has said, okay, well I want to ride and maybe get there to see the last of the action for his purposes. I mean, that sounds reasonable. Maybe some troops might make it to St John's Abbey and secure a kind of forward redoubt for when some more cannons come back up from London, and they'll start maybe bombarding the town and doing what they did historically. Now, the question is, how will Gordon's and Honeywood's attack roll out? Capel has sent a message to Lyle and Lucas and said, guys, send back as much as you can because the attack is concentrated on the West Gate. So Sir Charles Lucas here, he's probably just gonna watch the East Gate for a bit, like he said. Unfortunately, they're too far away as well to really affect much, I would think. Some of the volunteers might put themselves on the walls, maybe shore up the castle a bit, but there's nothing happening over here. Nothing great is going to go on. This cannon has run too hot. It's been firing all day, so they've stopped. But what is going to happen here is that Honeywood and Gordon have decided that Honeywood's going to go in first. The cannons are still going to support for a couple more minutes, so we'll grab a couple of dice that are already printed. Actually, I could have used those two, but never mind. We'll see how the cannons roll. It's a good and bad effect. Tell you what, we'll just go like that. That one rolled good effect last time. It stands to reason that it's ranged in. This one, not so much. What's the damage? Bad effect with a 4 and a good effect with a 6. That's going to do some damage. That's going to put some heads down over here. So good stuff. So we'll have them fall out. And what do we want? What do we think? Shall we just put them in double line? Yeah, that or I mean, stands to reason they'll be in line. Maybe Cook's Regiment number 2 is probably going to come out and try and support that attack, and Cook number 3 is going to come in there. We'll have Barnardifton fall out around the side, and hell, maybe they'll even make it up to there, and the rest of them in line, ready to fall in behind the attack. So what will happen is Barnardifton and Cook's Regiment number 2 will kind of provide support fire against these two here for the first 15 minutes of the attack. With a 6, oh god, and a 1. Okay, so that's going to happen. So yeah, they get to there, and then what will happen is we'll go back and we'll sort out the casualties for that first kind of action, and then we'll press the attack, go for 2 rounds and see how it goes, see if the parliamentarians get the luck on them. I mean, Cook's Regiment number 3 is probably going to get blown to shit by that battery as soon as it comes through the gate. Lord Capel's going to be standing behind that cannon, and yeah, I'll do the rest. I don't think any of these both of these commanders said that they were going with their men. So yeah, I'll conduct it from here, lads. I'll conduct it. We'll see you in uno momento once we've done the casualties. Okay, so this is what happened. A shock gain on Mr. Tewkesbury's guys, and a shock gained on Cook's Regiment. Barnardifton and Colonel Bird going at each other. Colonel Bird didn't really do much. Well, yeah, obviously. I think he lost like 4 men. Yeah, 4 men. And cannons are going to shoot one more go to support that attack. Good effect. Oh my goodness. With 5 and a 3. So the 3 will go for that one, and the 5 will go for that one. We'll have guys on the walls still shooting with the 3 and a 1. These guys will shoot back at the guys on the wall. It won't do much damage, but it will probably keep some heads down. Didn't fucking do diddly squat. Right, so having the orders, they want the cavalry coming in through the gap behind the infantry. I have no idea what they were thinking about doing with regards to, yeah, I mean, cavalry charging a gap behind pike and shot. I don't know if they I don't know what they're expecting. But yeah, okay, so we'll have Cook's regiment coming through the gap with another one behind. Major Sparrows. Horse and Colonel Gordon's horse behind, with Harvey's regiment behind them. These guys behind them, and Fothergill's at the back. They're coming in. Lord Capel has Charles Lucas's guys in reserve. Bish bash bosh. Right, so Cook's regiment number 3 is going to get decimated, and there is no retreat. There is no retreat. It's push forward, do or die. So here we go. So Cook's regiment at the front. Cook's men get absolutely fired upon, point blank range, with the battery of artillery that is behind light cover. So here we go. We'll have the artillery go first. Actually, no, we'll keep the dice where they are. We'll have the artillery go first. Is it going to be good effect or bad effect? It's bad effect. Okay. Maybe their guns weren't quite trained on the whole, but it's still going to do some damage with a 5. Cook's regiment gets blasted in the face. Ouch. Chester's regiment opens up with a 5 at effective range. Hell, even close range. Fuck it. Let's push them forward more. Let's give them. Yeah, so they come through the thing, get blasted by the cannons, and then either regiment, either side opens up on them. So that was Chester, and that was Gilbert. Bish bash bosh. Absolutely destroyed. Let's let's go back, tally the casualties, and see what happens next. Cook's regiment gets blasted in the face with cannon and musket fire, and a quarter of his men fall down, dead, at the Balkerne Gate. They are disrupted due to that unfortunate volley of fire, even though it was a bad effect. His men rush the guns as best as they can. Okay, we've got no combat whip. We've got Cook's regiment coming out here. Number 1. Probably going to go for Gilbert's regiment. Got Major Sparrow's cavalry. Nowhere to go. And the blockage of horse as they see the smoke and the dismay and the disruption and the chaos only within seconds of Cook's regiment going through the gates. Dead men dying, being trampled by horse, and Cook's regiment bravely manage to push forward against the makeshift redoubt of furniture, sacks and boxes that the brave royalists have put up in the defence. Okay, starting with the outside. We'll give these guys another shot. Did we make them shoot before? Yeah, we did. Did we? I can't remember. I'll have to look back. Okay, 5 for this guy, 1 and nothing for that guy. Colonel Bird shoots back with a 3. And this guy shoots back with a 2. What we'll do is we'll push them forward. They're now shooting up at one another at point blank. Bagoosh, bagoosh. Just for fun. Close range. Trying to stab at one another. Now, Cook's Regiment, number 3. Close quarters fighting with Colonel Chester. What's he going to do? He's pushing against the light cover of that barricade. Muskets and pike in one another's faces. He's disrupted, so he gets a -1, so that's a 3. What's Chester's answer? A 2. They're dismayed by the fact that Cook's regiment is so brave. They took it in the face and they just kept on going. They're a little bit taken aback at the bravery of these fine young men. Cook's Regiment number 1 versus Gilbert. What's Gilbert's answer to Cook's number 1? A 5. Solid, close range. Hell, they might even get a shot off at Cook's Regiment as they charge in. And get a 3. Oh my goodness. Let's see what that has done. So cannons have stopped firing now. It's too close to the walls. They've stopped. They're done. As Gordon and Honeywood can do nothing but look on. Fairfax, he'd probably be about there by now. But next turn, he'll probably see what's going on. And yeah, we'll write up a narrative piece, the final action, to tell the commanders what went on. But this cavalry, the only thing it can do, I mean, when this thing maybe becomes broken and men start peeling off, maybe they'll try and attack. But it's like attacking a redoubt with cavalry. Just, I don't know, doesn't seem to work. But yeah, we'll take that back, run the numbers, and we'll be back for the next part. The fighting is furious. Chester and Gilbert, even though they're understrength regiments, have seen action before, their men are a little bit tired. The light cover and makeshift barricades that were hastily built only an hour before have done their job. Cook's regiment has halted. Cook's regiment number 3 is now at 4 shock, still disrupted. Cook's regiment number 1 down to 143 men. Gilbert is faltering a bit. He's only got 100 men left. The ranks are starting to thin. Can Cook capitalise on it? Some horse might see an opening up on the right as Gordon's cavalry push on behind. It's getting a little bit full. Up in the breach, hundreds of men jostling up against each other, and the people from the back keep pushing behind. The horse have nowhere to go. Maybe even Cook's regiment here, having lost a third of its men, might even have a hole. We'll have the cannons open up. See if fuck it. Let's be brutal. Let's have them shoot through both. Good effect. Oh my god, close range. Oof, with a 1. What can you say about that? Some men will die, some horse will die. It's good effect. It'll do. Okay, starting with the outside, close range. Oh, that's a 6. That's a 5. Brutal combat. That's a 6 as well. Oh god, jeez. And that's a 5. Oh, Jeez, okay. Fighting back as strong as ever, but these guys in cover will have the advantage. Right, so the cannons have opened up. Bad effect. Okay, let's go for Colonel Chester on Cook's Regiment number 3. That's a 5. What's the answer from Cook's Regiment number 3? A 1. Oh yeah, yeah. So they don't do any damage. That'll break them as men just keep pushing forward. They're pushed up against the barricades. There's nowhere to go, and they've lost all sorts of fighting cohesion. Oh dear. Cook's Regiment number 1. What's it gonna do? A 3. Probably suffering from the same disadvantage as its sister regiment. And as Colonel Gilbert, he's not full effectiveness, rolls a 4. But they're beating them back. They're causing damage. And Gordon and Honeywood can only watch on as Fairfax rounds the corner and says, "My goodness, what is going on? How's the attack going?" And they're like, "We don't know, sir. It's a smoky, smoggy mess." You know, you can just imagine the smoke starting to fill the air now. The rubble of St Mary's steeple. Hell, maybe even Charles Lucas's regiment might even just try and push forward at some point. So we'll see what happens there. He's got enough support, but these regiments aren't breaking. These regiments are not breaking yet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with this horse and everything else. Let's go on to the next part. Amazingly, Cook's Regiment number 3 still stays disrupted. I for some reason I treated them as untrained, but they're actually trained. I looked at the wrong bit. So when they got that 3, they were still on the level. And then a 4, 5, 6, and a 7. That's when they're disrupted. Although that doesn't quite make sense. Might need to rejig that. So yeah, they're on 7 shock. They're just about to be completely utterly disrupted with a -2. But they'll still fight. I mean, they've got nowhere to go, so it makes sense. I should really turn those notifications off. Let's keep rolling. But the attack is faltering. So maybe some of these men will start peeling off. I'll tell you what, we'll break that up into 2, and just say there's 100 men in each now, because you can do that. They'll start adding their weight of fire onto, because there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go, so they start putting their fire and adding to the walls. So he's disrupted now. Let's start with the outside. Okay, so 2 fires against 1 now. What's going to happen? Not a lot. As they're safe behind their walls with another 6. Jesus. Okay. What's these 2 gonna do? A 5 and a 3. Okay, better. What's the answer? A 5. Still not so bad. They can see that it's do or die time. They're giving their all for the king. Right. Cook's Regiment. Actually, no. You tell you what. Let's do these 3 first. Okay. So Colonel Chester. What's he rolling? Oh, he's getting tired. He's rolling a 2. The guns. Again. blast off with a 6. Good effect. And a 4. That's gonna obliterate some stuff. Colonel Gilbert gives one last go at it. With a 1, yeah, he's suffering. Okay. Cook's Regiment. With a 5. They give it their all. So that's actually a -1, so that's a 4, but they give it their all the best they can as they get blasted in the face by the cannons. Cook number 1 with a 2. Tired, but maybe because he rolled a 1 that might be pushing back. Let's give him some room now. As Sparrow's horse gets involved, but then maybe Charles Lucas splits his guys up and says, "Come on, men, we need to take those barricades back." So 246 divided by 2. 246 divided by 2. 123. I didn't need a calculator for that. Or at least I shouldn't really. It's basic maths. Split these guys up. The heroes. As Gilbert's men fall back. Tired. And messy. Charles Lucas takes the line. Maybe, hell, with some volunteers as well. Last ditch effort. As Harvey's men maybe find a gap behind the cavalry. And Blois gets absolutely blasted. Or at least he'll be at risk of getting blasted. But yeah, Cook's #3 number regiment is gonna absolutely get torn to pieces. I would think. I think we'll roll it twice more and see what happens. But I mean, obviously, the hundreds of men dying is not going to do anyone any favors. The horse and everything, it's going to be chaos. So see what happens. So Cook's regiment #3. Took it heavy in the face again from another cannon blast. Hell, even these guys lose some more men as well. I've completely forgotten about that. So they're down to 65, and they take 2 shock. Ouch! Colonel Gordon's horse get blown to smithereens, but as holes open up in the line, that does give a chance for the cavalry to keep pushing forward and maybe even make an attack on the guns. And the volunteers come in to help. Right, so we'll continue with the outside guys shooting each other off. With a 5 and a 3 again. Okay, that's like 18 men, I think, so that's going to be another shock on these boys, but I think they might have well just held on. Oh my god, 3 6s in a row, that is devastating. Ouch. Okay, these guys, a 6 and a 1. Would it be enough? Would it be enough to continue this attack forward? Oh, okay, I thought it was going to be another 6, but it's a 2. If it wasn't for that wall, it would have been a 6. But okay, this is where the real action is. Okay, so Colonel Chester doing his bit, doing his job. With a 5 on the poor Cook's regiment. What's Cook's regiment answer to that? A 2. But I tell you what, I mean, they are disorganized, these guys. Jesus. Okay, we're just running out of room. Running out of room, aren't we? We know these guys are kaput. They're really no longer functional, but you know, we'll know that that's Cooks. Blois comes up, tries to fill the gap. Colonel Gordon also attacks the guns as Cook's regiment whole pushes forward. What's they going to do? A 6. Okay, that's good. That's really good. Whether it do much damage, I don't know. I mean, there's 40 men. Is it 40? Yeah, 6. No, 30. 30 men on the guns. Or is it 40? I can't remember. I can't remember how many people I've got on the guns. So they're definitely going to break through. Charles Lucas's volunteers, what they're going to hit back with. For Cook's regiment against Charles Lucas's volunteers. Oh shit, a 1 versus 2. Okay, so you know they're just meeting one another, you know, sorting out the pike lines. I think Gilbert's just gonna take a rest. And did I miss anything? Do I have to roll for Blois? I'll have to edit this. Blois is going up against Chester. Close range, you know, with the pikes and everything. A 2. I think this attack has faltered. We'll do it one more go, and then we'll see what happens. Oh well, after that roll, it looks like the Parliament attack has broken down. It's stalled. Cook's regiment, number 2 over here. Too much shock. Disorganised, falling back in disarray. Some of Fothergill's guys will have to maybe, you know, see if they can start climbing the rubble and taking the wall. Maybe might be a bit too much of an ask, you know, giving your guy a leg up and seeing if you can take him. And if they maybe roll really high, we might give it to them as people are ushered off the walls. But this is the last roll, I think. We'll have Cook's regiment all but gone. Yeah, 10 shock, falling back, disorganised, maybe trying to scramble out, but the weight of men behind them is too much to ask. Blois regiment takes up the standard, pushes back against Colonel Chester, who's still in good nick, amazingly enough. I think the Royalists have held, but we'll roll it. Maybe seeing Cook's regiment. Maybe this. No, the batteries won't open fire. Okay, so we'll see if Fothergill gets a leg up. If he gets a 6, he doesn't. It's a 3. We'll have Blois versus Chester. A 1. Yeah, seeing Cook's number 3 regiment fall like that and get behind them and make some holes in the lines and push back. It's confusion, it's horribleness, it's bloody murder. Chester fires a 3. The disrupted Colonel Gordon against the volunteers with a 4. Now the volunteers do get a minus, so they're only getting a 1. Could be trouble. Could be trouble. Maybe Parliament might do it. As Cook's regiment, that is disrupted, also goes against Charles Lucas's volunteers. What are they going to do? Uh-oh. That's a 1. Charles Lucas with a 5. And Barnardifton, what's he going to do? A 2. He is disrupted as well. So that goes down to a 1. The attack's faltered. The attack has faltered. A 3. Yeah, it's, you know, we'll say that as soon as people from outside the gate started shouting retreat, it caused others to lose heart, and Parliament starts falling back in disarray. Some people scramble out the gate, horse and men, all disrupted, all horribleness, scrambling back out. It's chaos. And as Charles Lucas' regiment of foot stands up through the barricades, they have saved the day. I think that is a fair end to our story, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed the battle. The generals, the men who've played it have said to me that most of them have enjoyed it. We might give them a little survey, a little suggestion box at the end to say what I could have done better. There was things I could have done better, actually. I might have missed a couple of orders here and there, but I don't think it really affected much. But good job to the Royalists for defending the town. A more or less a historical result, but we'll tell Fairfax that as soon as he arrives at Gordon and Honeywood, he sees the chaos of men wounded, people chucking away their weapons, falling out of the Balkerne Gate, and maybe they might reorganise on Broomheath and just start to dig in. And a historical result. I think Parliament has done well of blocking off the roads, capturing major points, and a more or less a historical result for all, I think. But well played, gentlemen, and we'll get back and tell you a nice little narrative version of what's happened with this attack. I think it could have gone either way. To be honest, there was times that a 5 or a 6 in the right place might have done it, but I think having the reserve there obviously saved the day. But yeah, well played all, and thank you very much for watching. I'll probably do one more video as like an outro, and some things that I want to talk about, some things that I might have missed, some fudges that were done in the name of transparency, and we'll catch you as always on the next one. See you later.